Not sure what has happened to Rashad Richey, but this appears to be an audio-only recording of an earlier show of his. So far, this particular podcast has only netted 11 viewers over the past 2 weeks. Is this some form of fibbing purgatory imposed by the Young Turks over the accuracy of his video segments? I have no idea. Whatever the case, it combines 3 of my favorite topics: Kyle Rittenhouse's innocence, the hypocrisy of hating on Kyle while supporting Crystal Kaiser, and the academic fraud and hypocrisy of Rashad Richey. I couldn't pass this one up. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With cold, blunt analysis, cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
While listening to Rashad's take on Kyle Rittenhouse, do not drink anywhere near your keyboard for this suggestion later. One more thing. During this video, you may have a problem distinguishing your anger from your astonishment from your bemusement. I had the same problem, so you're not alone out there. Here we go.
Kyle Rittenhouse said he was in college. This came out during the trial.
That's right. Rashad Richey is going to critique Kyle Rittenhouse's academic record. I'm not joking. Rashad Richey. Rashad Richey is going to criticize Kyle Rittenhouse for his academic record. I know.
He said he was taking classes. He was registered, enrolled at a university, taking classes for nursing. Well, guess what? That's likely a lie. Let me break it down. A vocal alliance.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to lie about our academic record, would we, Rashad?
Of left-leaning students at Arizona State University, ASU, they are now demanding that Rittenhouse be removed from online classes. Now, why?
They want him removed from online classes because he's so dangerous. Yeah.
Why do they think he's taking online classes? Because he said it. All right. This is what he said. Despite the teen's acquittal this month on charges of murdering 2 men and injuring another during protests for racial justice.
Despite the teen's, what was that? Acquittal.
And injuring another during protests for racial justice in Wisconsin last year. The 18-year-old has been celebrated within right-wing circles after jury decided he acted in self-defense when killing and wounding the men in Kenosha in August of 2020. Now, I've said this before and I stand by it. In my opinion, he's a cold-blooded murderer.
Yeah, well, your opinion doesn't mean shit in comparison to the 12 jurors who actually watched the shootings on video and heard from numerous eyewitnesses.
Now, this information I'm about to share with you shows the extent of his manipulation.
Oh, this ought to be good. He's going to show us the extent of Kyle Rittenhouse's manipulation.
Rittenhouse told the court, that he had enrolled in nursing classes at ASU.
No, he didn't say that. If you're going to quote him accurately.
Arizona State University. An investigation by an Arizona TV station, 12 News.
Now we're going to get Rashad telling us that he was never enrolled in any courses at Arizona State, right? Hang on.
Revealed that he was taking a virtual class, not attending in person. But
he's attending a virtual class because that's no good. Only if you're attending in person does it really count. What about all of those diplomas that you claim that you received for your online attendance, Rashad? Of course, they're all fake, but whatever. He built up his entire phony academic background on online virtual courses.
But it gets deeper than that, okay? Now remember, this was played up as him being an upstanding individual, but there's some manipulation in the background.
Oh, this ought to be good. There's manipulation here, okay? So he claimed he was taking courses at Arizona State. Arizona State says that, well, yeah, he was, but it was online. What's going to happen here? We'll find out.
Nonetheless, members of various groups want university officials to withdraw Cal Rittenhouse.
Who's Cal Rittenhouse?
If you want a better buy, go see Cal. You're the guy we satisfy, go see Cal.
And wait, this is the revelation? The manipulation? Well, I guess it is manipulation in the sense that students are trying to form a movement to have a person not be able to attend a college
From classes and ban him from campus. The goal of these demands is to let the ASU administration know that we do not feel safe knowing that a mass shooter who has expressed violent intentions about protecting property over people is so carelessly allowed to be admitted to the school at all. Now, let me remind you, yes, Cal Rittenhouse was.
Who's Cal Rittenhouse?
If you're little short of cash, go see Cal. Trouble's over in a flash, go see Cal.
Was acquitted by a jury.
Wait, he was acquitted by a jury. I would think that would be kind of important.
He's not guilty by the standards of that courtroom. This is a different standard. We're now in the court of public opinion and in the court of common sense.
Oh, the court of common sense? Okay, let's apply some common sense. All 12 members of the jury saw the actual shootings on video. They also heard from numerous eyewitnesses that saw exactly what happened. Also, there was no real evidence to show that Kyle was guilty of anything that night. And then all 12 jurors unanimously agreed that it was self-defense. And you're claiming that the common sense route is to claim that he's a murderer? Okay. What can you do?
He still is the individual who said this. Play the video.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Bro, I wish I had my all right, start shooting rounds at them.
I wish I had my FNAR, I'll start shooting rounds at them. That's called murder. If he would have done that, that's called murder.
If he would have done that, but he didn't. Rashad, that's kind of a problem for your argument, is he never did. He called 911.
All right? Universities, colleges, they are able to take these things in full context. They can take what you posted on social media. They can take what you've said on the record publicly. They can take things like this and determine if you are a good fit, a good candidate for that institution.
Oh, really? Okay, now I'm going to get pissed off. Listen to me, asshole. When you were Kyle's age, you were in jail. You were in jail for battery and for dealing drugs. And you have the nerve to make hay out of the fact that Kyle threatened an action and never did it. You want Kyle Rittenhouse to never be able to go on a college campus again, but you have no problem enrolling all kinds of fake degree programs, even though you are an ex-con. By the way, you want to talk about character? What about you impregnating a woman and then claiming the kid wasn't yours? They actually had to force you to take a paternity test to prove that you were the father. And then from that point on, you pretended to be father of the year. But it's most despicable for you to clamor all over Kyle Rittenhouse because of what he did when he was 17, when you were worse, far, far worse. And you want to be forgiven. And by the way, everybody says, oh, he's really ashamed of those things he did when he was 17. No, he's not. He talks about it incessantly. It gives him street cred. What an asshole.
No matter what a jury has said about Kyle Rittenhouse said those words.
Yeah. And what about you beating up some poor dude and getting thrown in jail for it? Did that ever happen? Yes, it did.
Even if Judge Schroeder said it was not allowable in the courtroom, that doesn't mean it's not allowable for you or for the college or for students. If Kyle Rittenhouse would have killed someone who's protesting, or even a person that stole or destroyed property, Wisconsin law says you have a duty to retreat and you cannot use deadly force in the protection of property.
Wisconsin has a duty to retreat? Okay there, Mr. Researcher. Let's take a look at that. Here it is. This is the footnote to the self-defense statute in Wisconsin. It says, while there is no statutory duty to retreat. Do you hear that, Rashad? No statutory duty to retreat. Whether the opportunity to retreat was available goes to whether the defendant reasonably believed the force used was necessary to prevent an interference with the defendant's person. So how did I pick up on this? Well, I know Wisconsin's self-defense laws. He doesn't. As soon as he said no duty to retreat, I knew he was wrong.
That's still case law. That's still statute in Wisconsin. So these students are saying he shouldn't be at the college, but here's the kicker. He's probably not even in college at all, okay?
Oh no, Kyle might have lied about his college enrollments. Actually, he probably didn't. I think he actually was enrolled. I don't think he completed the course. But then again, he was fighting for his life in trial, so it would have been hard to complete the courses anyway. And quite frankly, I don't think that Kyle is really a college kind of person, but whatever case. I think it's absolutely astonishing that this man here is criticizing Kyle Rittenhouse for not actually attending the classes. Let's look a little bit at Rashad Richey's background. He starts off, Western Orthodox University, claims a PhD. No, that's a diploma mill. He originally claimed it was from Schofield Seminary, a little church out of Modesto, California. It's also a diploma mill. He did not take any courses from this university, yet he claims a PhD in it. École Supérieure Euro-American, which is basically Euro-American University. You would think that that's located like Brussels or something. No, it's in Africa. It's a diploma mill. He claims a Bachelor of Science there. He never took any classes from this school. He probably just gave them a little bit of money. Buella Heights University, he might have actually got a real Bachelor of Arts degree there. It's a pitiful university, but that actually might be legit. University of Central Florida claims an energy medicine certification. He basically paid $49 for the rights to look at some videos and a certificate. There's no evidence he completed anything there. Cornell University, another one of these. I'm going to sign up for some courses, give them some money, and then claim some sort of experience from it. No evidence whatsoever that he's done anything with Cornell. Buella Heights University claims an MBA. He also claims he only got it in 1 year. I call BS on that. Universidad Empresarial, that translates to business school, where he claims a master's in applied physics. That's another diploma mill. Their own website doesn't even claim they offer physics. He made it up. Atlanta's John Marshall Law School claims Juris Doctor, law degree in law, 2020 to 2021. In 1 year, huh? That raises suspicions. What happened at Atlanta's John Marshall Law School? Now remember, he's criticizing Kyle Rittenhouse because Kyle didn't actually take any courses at Arizona State, which is somewhat in question. Okay, so this email I received from my friend, PhD investigator, who got this from Atlanta's John Marshall Law School. It states, "Good afternoon. Ollie Rashad Richey attended Atlanta's John Marshall Law School from August 2020 through April 2021. He was academically dismissed January 7, 2021, and reinstated January 11th, 2021. Subsequently, he was academically dismissed and denied reinstatement on May 29, 2021. In other words, he didn't really make it even 1 semester. You have to work pretty hard, or actually not at all, to get thrown out of a university after only completing, or actually not completing, 1 semester. I mean, you can usually get on academic probation for at least a semester, and the reason why they threw him out, he just never went to school. He didn't complete the coursework that was in front of him, and yet he's complaining that Kyle Rittenhouse enrolled in courses but didn't really enroll in them. That's right. Business University of Costa Rica, it's the same university as the one we looked at just a moment ago, claims a PhD in international policy. It's a diploma mill. He did no work. He did not receive anything from them. This is one of the worst. Duke University. He puts Duke up there, including their logo. He did nothing at Duke University. If you read it, he's claiming that he got the degree really at University of Pacific. And I know what you're thinking. Well, that's a prestigious school. But no, it's not University of Pacific. It's Universidad del Pacifico. It is a Colombian university that does not have a graduate program. He's claiming a Master of Science from them. They don't even offer neuroscience. It's primarily a business college. He made it up. MIT claims to have completed 43 courses. No, all he did was download the video lecture series. There's no evidence he ever watched any of the videos. It is not actual courses. You don't get credit for it, and he couldn't have understood them anyway. These courses require advanced knowledge in complex variables and tensor analysis and differential equations, none of which he has. Azteca University used to be a real university. No longer. They found out they could make more money by selling fake degrees. The Asia Pacific School of Business, sorry, this is actually the worst. There is no such school. Their website shows pictures of the campus that were actually stolen from Syracuse University. The faculty that are shown are actually stolen photos from other universities. It's a diploma mill. He paid for it. He originally claimed that he was getting a PhD in physics from this school. Then I criticized him because it's a school of business. He changes it to Master of Arts in Cognitive Psychology. It doesn't matter. There is no such school as the Asia Pacific School of Business. It's fake. This is bad. The Birmingham School of Law. He actually still lists it. He might have enrolled at one point, but he even admits that he transferred to Renaissance University and completed an online Juris Doctorate from them. This is a school that doesn't even have a running email or web server, and yet he took a virtual Juris Doctor program from them. They don't offer Juris Doctorates anyway. The school is like really poverty-stricken. It's in Nigeria, I believe. Harvard Law School, he gave them some money, and there's no evidence he did anything with them. Clark Atlanta University, he did technically get a Doctor of Education. I read his thesis on my YouTube channel. It is absurd. Large portions of it lifted from an undergraduate's capstone project. He did almost no work on it. No self-respecting university would have given him a Doctor of Education for that crap, but they gave it to him anyway. So this is the man complaining that Kyle Rittenhouse has committed academic fraud.
Rittenhouse, his enrollment is uncertain. The status of it is really unknown.
So it's unknown. That doesn't mean that he's not enrolled, right?
In a statement to The Guardian on Monday that did not distinguish between online and in-person classes, a university spokesperson said, and I quote, Kyle Rittenhouse has not, let me say that again, Kyle Rittenhouse has not gone through the ASU admissions process. He is not currently enrolled in any classes at ASU. So you may wonder, you may scratch your head and say, well, wait a minute. There's a news agency that verified it. He said it in court. His attorneys echoed it. It was accepted as true. So what really happened here? Here's the caveat. We figured it out. Officials earlier told 12 News Rittenhouse was not enrolled in the Edson College of Nursing and Health Innovation, and that the class he was enrolled in was a non-degree class for non-degree seeking students.
Yeah, so what? So what? There's this course that he can take from Arizona State University, and he enrolls in the class. Yeah, he was never officially enrolled at the university, okay? So he's saying that, yeah, I'm taking classes from Arizona State University to be a nurse. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that statement. It's truthful. It's a little misleading, yes, but it's not false. But thinking about false, how about all of your statements, Rashad, about all those phony degrees that you have received? I have about 30 videos on this clown. So if you're interested in Rashad Richey's academic fraud, you need to check out my channel. There is a playlist called Rashad Richey, or I think it's actually called Rashad the Fraud, okay, where I have compiled all these videos.
It's one of those classes you just show up, and if you do, great. If you don't, oh well. It's not really a class. It's not for credit. You don't go through admissions. Nobody really knows who you are. All right?
So what? No, I mean, from a 17-year-old, he probably does think that, well, I'm an ASU student. He doesn't have the sophistication to understand the distinction between being enrolled at the university in a credit-bearing class than this sort of online, probably a MOOC. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that Arizona State does offer a large number of these courses that anybody can pay a little bit of money and get in and take whatever.
All right. His lawyers, I want you to remember this other manipulation. His lawyers played up his employment as a part-time lifeguard, but conceded that although Rittenhouse told people in Kenosha that he was a trained emergency medic, lying again, he had not received any formal training.
Actually, no, he has received formal training. He's a lifeguard. He was trained by the YMCA. Their formal training is actually quite rigorous. He knew how to treat wounds, broken legs, bruises, cuts, and stuff like that. The kind of things that you would find at a protest. He's not an EMT. So yeah, he did exaggerate there. You might even want to call it lying. Fine. But to say that he wasn't trained? No, that's not true.
I mean, this guy's a monster.
He's a monster because he claimed that he was an EMT, but he really wasn't. And he claimed that he was attending classes when that's a little bit misleading. For that, he's a monster. Well, what does that make you, Rashad? A person who went to jail for beating up some dude and dealing drugs and lying about your academic record. What does that make you?
You know what my grandmama would say? Get your lying ass up out of here.
Well, you must have been getting up out of there a lot, or you were beaten by your grandma a lot, because you are the epitome of a psychotic liar. You lie incessantly. And in fact, it's hard to find any instances where you're telling the truth. Certainly not about your academic record. You lie constantly about that.
That's what my grandmother would say. He's a liar. Adrian, the right, they're creating a monster, and really it looks like he was already a monster in the making.
Absolutely. All the spins that he did to try to make himself seem like he is a, contributing member of society, part-time lifeguard at the local bathtub, I'm sure.
No, the Recplex is not the local bathtub. As far as I know, that's actually a pretty big one. But all this spin, he just claimed that he was an EMT and that he was enrolled in a college class at Arizona State. Believe me, a lot of people have fibbed far more than that. In fact, the person you're talking to.
But then also too, claiming that he is enrolled in these nursing courses. This sounds like some kind of certificate course where it may not even be a pass-fail thing, but a thank you for your money thing.
Right.
And also I can understand
Hey, Rashad, you should know about that.
ASU being in somewhat of a tough position, especially right now, because it is a public school instead of a private school. So I'm sure it has different laws that will apply to it. At the same time, I commend those students at ASU for speaking out and letting them know that should Kyle Rittenhouse come their way, he is not going to be welcomed on campus.
Well, what are you going to do about it? You know what's going to happen? The same students, they're going to be crying that they're living in fear because this mass murderer, the guy who is going to open fire on anybody at the slightest twitch, they're going to get in his face and basically try to antagonize him into a fight. The same students that are going to claim they fear him are going to antagonize him because they really don't fear him. You really think that when Kyle Rittenhouse walks into a lecture hall, all the kids in there are going to just get up and run screaming out? No, that won't happen.
And I don't know how ASU would handle it, but I'd hope it use whatever it has in its arsenal to defend itself.
To defend itself against what? You have to have a threat first. You can't take preemptive strikes against people. He was acquitted. He has no criminal record. Therefore, if state laws say that they have to take him, they have to take him. Now, he's no longer living in Arizona. I don't think he ever did. I know he lived in Nevada at one point. He's living in Texas. And he was supposed to go to Blinn College. He never did. Damn it, Kyle. I really wish you would have. Again, I don't know if he's really college material or not. But whatever the case, if he is a Texas resident and the college has to take him, they have to take him. They can't come in and say, well, we kind of think that you were a murderer even though you were acquitted, so we really don't want to. It doesn't work like that. He still has rights.
Very well said. Now, let me make another comparison about the privilege of Kyle Rittenhouse and the lack of privilege applied to a young African-American female.
Okay, now he's going to talk about Crystal Kaiser. Let's leave that for another video. I mean, I truly don't understand this dude. While he's criticizing Kyle's academic record, he knows that he has lied on his own. He knows that he hasn't earned those degrees. And there are a lot of them. He claims like 5 PhDs, none of which are real. He's done all this. So when he's saying these things, what is he thinking? Boy, I mean, a pathological liar to the extreme. I've never seen it to this extent before. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and never believe a damn thing this man tells you. That other person too. She's probably a liar too, so stay away from her.